Hello and welcome to Dice's Edge Creating a Character. For this, all you'll need is some tools. Create a character pack, D12, and a D6. Lastly, a character sheet of some sort. These are all available online for free via the preview rules package for Dice's Edge. Here we'll be using a digital dice roller just through Google. In Dice's Edge, you'll see that the character sheet is made up of core stats and skills. The core stats are things like movement. This represents the amount of speed, ease by which your character can navigate through their environment. Strength. This represents the physical strength and ability of the character. How much can they lift? How hard can they hold on to that cliff's edge if their life depended on it? Zero strength would represent an average person for that setting. -1 might represent somebody on the smaller side, or who engages in less physical activity. Whilst +1 might represent somebody who's reasonably strong, or active, and so forth. Vitality. Vitality represents the character's overall health and how their body may cope with physical damage or draining tasks. Reaction. Reaction encompasses a character's reflexes. If you throw a ball at them, how likely would they be expected to catch it? Intelligence. How well a character retains and possesses information. Can they be expected to solve puzzles or score well in an exam? Bravery. This is the character's ability to stay focused and calm under pressure. Bravery is challenged in many forms and can be opening up to somebody the character cares about or facing down a charging monster. Bravery determines how well a character will hold the line in a situation that is dangerous or well outside their comfort zone. Charm. Character's charm represents their unique ability, personality traits that help endear them to others. This could be something shallow like their appearance or the manner in which they speak, or their strength of character. When creating our stats, there are 3 different ways in Dice's Edge to make them. Heroic rolling is for players that want more of a power fantasy, and has a larger likelihood of creating very powerful characters. Standard creation is for somebody that wants to have a bit more of a balanced character, with strengths, flaws, and is able to pick more of their own. Dramatic rolling. This is for characters that are looking for a bit more of an underpowered experience, or looking to be able to have a very varied experience. We will be using dramatic rolling for this one, but understand that you can go through this sheet and look at the other ways to make a character. They're all valid, and as long as your team has decided that they want to use a specific set, then everybody should use that. However, if you and your group are happy with everybody being different, it is okay for everybody to choose a different way of building. For dramatic rolling, we start by putting all of our stats other than movement to 0 and putting movement to 4. For each stat other than movement, roll a d6. On a result of 1, we get a -2 to that stat. On a result of 2, we get a -1. On a result of 3, we get 0. But on a result of 4 or 5, we get +1, and on a result of 6, we get +2 to that stat. Here, we'll be rolling for strength. Gives us a 2, which is unfortunate. That means our character is got a -1 to their strength. Now we'll roll for their vitality. 1. This character is looking like they're not very strong or have a very high vitality. This looks like we'll be adding a -2 to that stat. Next, we'll be rolling for reaction. Oof. Also 2. So that looks like we've got a character that's not very good at strength, reaction, or vitality. Next, we're rolling for intelligence. Oof. Next, we'll be rolling for bravery. How brave is this character? Wow. Okay. Lastly, we'll be rolling for charm. And it looks like our character is very charming and brave, but lacking in the other departments. That's okay. Now it's time for us to roll for our skills. We start by setting our combat skill to 1 and then every other skill to 0. Then we select 4 of those non-combat skills and roll the same dice for them. Out of the default skills, I'm going to try and pick Persuasion and Stealth. Hopefully this will give our characters some abilities that reflect their stats. With the other 2 skills that we can add, I'm going to add 2 from the common pioneering skills. I'm going to choose Pioneering Procedures and Medicine. First, we're going to roll for our Stealth skill. Seems like we're going to be very stealthy. Next, Persuasion. Unfortunately, despite it being charming, we're not very persuasive. Next, we'll be adding in those pioneer procedures. Seems like we didn't pay attention in class. Lastly, medicine. Oh boy. I guess I didn't pay attention in that class either. Now, all characters start with 3 action points at every turn, so we'll put a 3 here. As we are playing as a pioneer, we'll all have a 1 known spell and 1 spell point, so we'll put 1 spell point here for now. Next, it's time to pick our class and subclass. Here, I'm gonna be crazy and just roll a d12. We got an 11. Result of an 11 gives us a commander. Being a commander, we get to add even more to our bravery, giving us +1. We also get the perk command. Spends 1 action point. We can roll a persuasion/leadership roll to order up to 1 mook during combat. They must be able to hear or see our command. On a 1 or a 2 successes, the game runner controls the mook but follows the general instructions we've given. On 3 successes, we get to take command directly of that mook during its turn. This will be helpful if we ever gain control or become part of a campaign where we have extra mooks on our side. Mooks in Dice's Edge are NPCs that are aligned with our faction but aren't necessarily our player character. This will help our character as we may end up in control of more mooks on our away missions. An 11 is a coach. This gives us +1 to perception and +1 to persuasion. We gain reassuring presence if we're alive and within 20 units of any ally that is aware of our presence. Then they get 1 added to any dice of their bravery related roll. Now it's time to check our species and subspecies. Here, we're also just going to go with chaos and roll another d12. On the roll of a 6, with this, that means our character is a sporty flumph. We get +2 spell points, +1 int, but -1 charm. We also gain kindling fur. It's a resistance to frost damage, but at the trade-off we get a weakness to fire damage. As with sporty, we just get +1 to our endurance skill. Our character's life points are equal to the 4 ± our vitality score. Since we have a negative vitality score, -1, we'll be starting off with 3 life points. Now before we get into our equipment, it is worth checking in with your game runner at this point to see if they're doing the standard equipment for our away missions. If they are, then we don't have to worry too much about buying any armor or a weapon at this stage that is a photon blaster or pistol equivalent, unless we want to flavor our character that way. I'm going to, with this one, assume that we will be given as a squad these standard loadouts, in which case, now it's time to start buying some equipment for our flumph. Let's call the flumph Romero. Romero starts by spending 750 creds and buying themselves a photon musket. And because I've decided Romero has a nice sense of style, they've spent 90 credits on getting themselves flashy, fancy clothes. Next, Romero is going to spend 15 credits getting a laser tripwire, 120 creds on getting a 3-pack of grenades. Next, Romero spends 22 credits on picking up 2 bottles of that flavored spell juice. These will come in handy when his spells run out. Lastly, Romero, with the last 3 credits they have, spends that on some adhesive tape. With only 3 spell points to play with, Romero has picked up a Fireblade. I think this works to show off his bravery in picking a fire spell, the kindling fur that could go off, but maybe not necessarily his intelligence. Fireblade might not be the most powerful pick for this character, as it requires a combat intelligence ranged attack, and we don't have the best intelligence. But it does give us a versatile way of attacking, as we can put 2 more spell points in instead of 1 to get the greater effect, forcing them to take an endurance vitality save or take additional damage. Plus, I think Romero learning a fire spell kind of shows to their bravery, but maybe not their intelligence. There we have Romero the Floomph with great taste, our level 1 coach. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support us, check out our Kickstarter campaign, or join the community on Discord. Links are in the description down below. You can also check out the free rules preview pack down below. The full rules will be coming out later after the Kickstarter is complete. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm hoping to make more videos on how to run this game. Things that I'm looking at doing is a how to run a great session 0/session 1, and how to play the game in general. Thanks for checking out Dice's Edge, How to Create a Character.